Tell me what you did yesterday.
Yesterday, we continued our visit with the Ferrarin Group, which is 68,000 hectares of soybeans, and most of that are now double crop corn as well. They are in the center part of the Mato Grosso, and we got to see we went out and saw some cornfields that they have. We talked to them, and they showed us their technology that they use, and they do a lot of crop scouting, and it's all electronically captured, so the people at the headquarters can see what's going on out in the field. Then we went to a ethanol plant, and that is run by FS, which is a individual out of Iowa, is one of the principal movers of that. It's a large plant, and they're processing corn for ethanol and obviously getting some DGGs out of that. After that, we took a ride up to Synopsis on a two-lane road. It's the main highway. And it has a lot of truck traffic on it. We got to see even that paved road is full of trucks and cars. And in fact, there was a wreck. Ethanol truck spilled over, and we had to take some back roads to get to Synopsis. After that, we had a meeting with Evandro Giannassini, and he is a farmer here in Sinop. We are now officially in the Amazon biome, so they get more rain here, and we're going to continue talking to him today. And he does non-GMO soybeans on his acres.
Interesting. Tell me about the logistics from yesterday just a bit. So, the data collection and what they can see from the centralized office space.
They have all their farms mapped, and then they have it so that they can focus in on the farm. And there's a complete record and they do scouting of those farms. So anytime an agronomist goes to the field, and they do that quite regularly, they note what they see in that software, and if there's any problems in that they note where that is at, and then they use that so they showed us a example of where they found a hot point on one of their farms, and their farms are 10,000 hectares, so and then there was a series of the same fungus showing up in this area, so they went and sprayed that area. They use a lot of software in managing their crops. So, and it's the typical sort of thing that we see in the U.S. Plus the mapping, plus the agronomists going out and making notes of what they see. So all of that's available to the agronomists at headquarters, and then they can begin to make decisions based on that.
And do you know how that works with the labor they have in the field and how much labor they use?
This farm has 68,000 hectares, which it works out to be 168,000 acres. That's divided into 13 units, and they have 600 full-time people and 400 more seasonal. They use much more labor, even though they're larger farms. If you do the division and see that their employees per acres, it's in a 168 to 200 acre range. So they're using a lot more employees than we do in the United States. A lot of we told the main farmer what we told him that our full-time employees make $50,000 to $60,000, and he said, well, that's more than the board of directors, the CEO makes at their farm. So their wages are much lower than in the United States, and they use a lot of them. So each one of these 13 units would have agronomists, probably two or three. And then there's also two or three agronomists at the main headquarters.
What do you think takeaways so far have been for you?
So this area, it's interesting. We've got this is we're talking to the first generation of farmers that were here, and that's really interesting. Gerardo told us a story of him coming here. There was no electricity in town. Their house didn't have electricity or anything, and they were so strapped for cash, he had to sell his car to buy diesel fuel for his for his to put in his crop, and he's gotten that up to 68 68,000 acres or 68,000 hectares. So just the the transformation of the area, and uh, most of these individuals came from southern Brazil and moved up here, and just those stories are interesting. So they also, this firm, unlike a lot of other firms, don't want to move out of Mato Grosso. They feel that they know the area here well, and that there's opportunities to grow here as well. My guess is Illinois would have looked very much the same as here had we started development 100 years later. The other thing is just the logistic issues. Everything, and you can see it on the roads and you can see it everywhere. Just the logistic problems are much larger here than they are in the United States. One of the ethanol individuals, a guy from Iowa, Brian Mark, said there's two things that Brazil did not do. They did not invest in their infrastructure, and they didn't invest in their education. And those things are two things that the United States did, and that's the big difference between the United States and here.
That was Gary Schnitkey, agricultural economist at the University of Illinois. He and the FarmDoc team are traveling across Brazil again this week. We'll hear more from him tomorrow and Friday. And then there will, on May 18th, that's a Thursday, be a webinar. You can check out the FarmDoc website to get yourself signed up for that. It'll also be in the schedule on our homepage at willag.org.